Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is DB333, and welcome back to Tartan 4, the Kaiserreich mod. Now, last time we played Kaiserreich, we played as Brazil. We elected Getulio Vargas and his Republicanos. We crushed Syndicalists in the Civil War. We crushed La Plata and established our dominance all over the South American continent. Now, unfortunately, we didn't have much to do after, and our manpower was in not a very good shape, so we had to stop for a while. But with the new 0.2 update, there's a lot more to do in Kaiserreich, a lot more fun new trees to check out. Italy had a whole revamp done. There are now 5 nations here instead of the previous 2. The Middle East has also had a very sizable revamp, with Egypt, everywhere from Egypt to Iran, getting a new tree. Also, Southeast Asia has had a little bit of a redone, with Deutsche Ostasien now being a thing, with the Indo-Chinese Union revolt, also a thing. Also, Australia, where Australasia finally has a tree, which is nice. But as well as the Netherlands got a highly revamped focus tree, and Flanders-Wallonia also got a new tree, which is going to be the focus of today in our little LP. So let's hop back in. I tried this game before, but I decided to restart real quick. Anyway, so Flanders-Wallonia is a puppet state of the Germans. It's basically the remnants of Belgium. It's not really in a good place. This guy right here, Adalbert I von Prussen, not exactly liked. He, not a lot of people like him. His tenure as king of the Flams and Walloons has been quite peculiar. Inaugurated not by coronation, but by swearing an oath on the Constitution, Adalbert, who also converted to Catholicism to align himself with his national populace, has long sought respect, if not admiration, of his people. Years of oppression under the German regime and a tendency for Adalbert to cling on to a more absolutist type of monarchy than the Belgian system have led to great anti-German sentiment among the populace, making Adalbert despised and hated amongst the common folk. Yeah, they don't like him at all, and there's a bunch of bad things, of things that we're gonna have to look at. First off, we have King Albert I in exile. After the Weltkrieg ended in crushing defeat for our small nation, King Albert I was forced into exile, and has followed the British royal family to Canada. Adored by all of his citizens for his bravery during the Weltkrieg, earning him the nickname Soldier King, large royalist underground movements plot his return to the throne and end to German occupation. So people would much rather have good old Albert in than Adalbert. And then there's also a linguistic debate, since half a nation speaks Dutch and the other half speaks French. It's a bit of a problem there. Also, the Dutch have a lot of control over our main port of Antwerpen, and there's a lot of anti-German sentiment due to high tax rates, favoritism towards Germans, and a general lack of interest by the German administrators and industrialists in Flemish Wallonian living conditions. Oh, and the conditions have only worsened. People don't like them, especially in Wallonia. So, what we are going to be doing in this LP is that since the problem seems to be this guy, so what we're going to do, we're going to try to get rid of this guy, Adalbert, and restore the old order of things. We're going to be trying to reform Belgium. Let's do machine tools and construction, and just try to reclaim our territory and, just make Belgium, make Europe safe again, establish Belgium, give it back its greatness, I guess. Yeah, maybe get back the Congo if we can. Though it's hard to say if we will be able to do that. We'll have to see. So yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of the Germans. That's our first issue. There are going to be some pop-ups coming up soon. I'll read over those quickly, and then after that, I will explain my plan. Status report. Location of Flanders-Wallonia. Located on the western border of the German Empire, bordering the Commune of France, Flanders-Wallonia has a very strategic but vulnerable position. As the vanguard of the West against the Singles menace, we are supposed to stop their advance on the bunkers of the Ludendorff line and push together with our German allies into French heartland. To the east, the German behemoth watches us closely and will prove to be a difficult enemy should the need arises. North of us lies the Netherlands. Neutral in the Weltkrieg, our former masters don't seem like much of a threat with their ill-equipped army and friendly relations. Alrighty. Status report. Economy of Flanders-Wallonia. Occupation and major battles during the First Weltkrieg have clearly marked our country in hefty reparations, and general dismantlement of our industrial base have imposed on us, have left us weak. What was once the 8th greatest industrial power in the world has been greatly humbled. Still, our people are sturdy and manage to rebuild our industrial might to a level approaching its former extent. However, as much of our industry is hopelessly reliant on German investment, there remains a great deal of work to be done. In order to revigorate the economy, the Adelbert Canal is dug post-war, connecting the important harbors of Antwerp, right here, with the steel industries of Liège, all the way down here. Coal mining has been expanded into the Flemish province of Limburg. Not quite sure where that is. Further stimulating the steel industry, while the Flemish provinces have steadily developed their industrial power to partially replace the old reliance on the agricultural countryside. Political situation. Even though our country is a constitutional monarchy on paper, parliamentary control over the government is strictly hampered. Moreover, political parties can only have a legal status and participate in elections if they accept the post-Weltkrieg status quo, such as the Hohenzollern monarchy, membership in the Reichspakt, and other national indignities. This limitation makes legal opposition parties stunted and ineffective. The government is advised by the Flemish Council, which consists mainly of members of a higher class, most of whom support the king and execute his decisions with limited practical power veto. There are two major opposition groups seeking to test the current status quo, and as a result, have been forced underground. First, we have the Royalist Catholic Party, who seek to restore Belgium and its rightful king Albert I, who currently in exile in Canada. The other group is the Syndicalist Party, which seeks to improve working conditions and create a socialist regime like that which exists in the Commune of France. Both of these groups have strong ties to the Wallonia region with occasional friction. The Catholic Party is also, however, widely accepted in the agrarian region of Flanders, which still strongly holds on to the Catholic faith. Well, we must brace ourselves for the trials to come. Anyway, so our plan, in order to restore Belgium, get Adalbert on the flan, what the fuck? Get Adalbert off the throne, and get Albert back on, is we're going to have to just completely burn this fucking country down. Alright, we're going to have to burn Flanders-Wallonia up and rebuild from there. So, we're going to have to do pretty much every single fucking every single horrible decision we can make, we're going to have to make, pretty much. So, yeah. Strikes of the Zolder mines. Miners and workers in the nearby industrial zones have laid down their equipment to protest against the inhumane conditions that they are regularly being exposed to fill the quotas imposed by regional industrial heads. Many of the workers have been forced to work 7 days a week, some for over 12 hours a day, or risk losing their jobs. The cooperative Zolder has decided to take action and has prepared a large strike to fight against their conditions, and has sworn to uphold the strike until their terms are met. Send in the watch. Sure, nothing bad can go on. Can happen. Let's we can only get Albert as we only have Albert as a field marshal, so let's get him going. For generals, let's go Jean-Baptiste Perron. Seems pretty good. Hidden sympathies, which is interesting. But yeah, let's put him in charge. Notola's chapter. Okay. That's not good. Let's hope they don't get much power. There goes Eddie the Eighth. Anniversary of the Antwerp killings. On the 22nd of January, 1935, the country was devastated by the killing of Albert Pot and Theophil Grip, two prominent members of the Antwerp Union, by affiliates of a German shipping company. This resulted in a nationwide strike organized by BWP, local cooperatives, and the unions to force the government into signing a law ensuring better working conditions and the introduction of the 40-hour work week. The government, however, decided to fight against the strike with force, leading to 6 casualties in Ghent Harbor and the imprisonment of over 300 union members in the following weeks. Ultimately, the strike was lifted as organizing members were locked up or threatened into submission. Today, the cooperative of Ghent has requested the mayor of the city allow them to organize a small ceremony in the St. Bob's Cathedral commemorating the sacrifices of the members. You know what? Let's just try to forget about that. Let's not talk about it. Let's just try to forget it, you know? They're, gearing up for war, looks like. Which is not good. Black Monday. As if things can get worse. Gridlock in France. African investment. Well, we got a little bit of not shit, but there's, watch as everything starts collapsing on us. Run on the banks. With stocks plummeting on the Brussels Stock Exchange, thousands of citizens are flocking to the banks trying to withdraw as much cash as possible. Societe Generale in Brussels is panicking as they see their cash reserves quickly dwindle, urging the king to take action before riots erupt on the streets. While paying out to our citizens would guarantee stability in the short term, it also come at a tremendous cost to the government. Yeah, let's just close the banks. Fair up. People are probably going to be fucked, but so be it. Gonna be fucked. Midden Crietas declares bankruptcy. Bad investments, plummeting stocks, and the support of friendly banks all conspired to quickly bring the Midden Crietas. I apologize, by the way. I don't speak Dutch, and I don't speak French, so I'm going to probably butcher a lot of these, so I apologize in advance. As a financial branch of a Boerenbond, a farmer representative body that boomed in influence after Weltkrieg due to German reliance on Middle Europe crops, thousands of farmers who had invested their capital in the organization now stand with empty pockets. Thousands have been left virtually penniless in a period of ever-increasing instability and financial insecurity. Members of Parliament have proposed the creation of a CKL, or Central Casse for Landbouwkrediten. Credit, I think, to support the troubled farmers by promising to provide generous subsidies to the agricultural sector upon economic recovery. While this would be a tremendous burden for the AVV and ABB, it would greatly help the image of Adalbert and the pro-German regime. Well, in that case, yeah, fuck them. I mean, they're farmers. It's not like they're people anyway. Downfall and stability. Yeah, who needs stability? Stability's overrated. Strike of the potato farmers. Angered by the government response of a collapse of Min credit costs, thousands of farmers have driven their tractors to Brussels in protest against their mistreatment. The Catholic Party has opened a debate in Parliament pleading the king to allow them to allocate funds to keep the Broederbond from collapsing and devastating Flanders-Wallonia's agricultural sector. Sending the watch. The disaster of 17th February 36. The 17th of February, which marks the day that Adalbert I was crowned as the King of Belgium to control the country, has been annually marked with celebrations in the capital. Military parades and fanfares announced the start of celebrations, and at 12 o'clock Adalbert mounted the balcony at the palace watching over Verande. As he addressed the population and celebrated another peaceful year, a loud bang resounded against the stone walls of the palace. In the midst of a crowd, a group of rebels had fired a gun in the direction of the king. They shouted, "Viva la Revolution!" and "Weg met de Mouf." Dozens of men and women placed at tactical locations in a crowd by the combined resistance started rallying the people and prepared to storm the palace. Police quickly mobilized and formed a protective circle around the palace gates, and though the crowd dispersed into the surrounding streets, revolt quickly became too large for police forces to handle. And let's not send them to watch. Let's wait a second. I'm sure they'll calm down eventually, right? Nope, they didn't. Trapped in the palace but safe from riders outside of the king, decided not to resort to the use of heavy weaponry, and instead sought to deal with the protesters solely by using police battalions. However, the right has proven not to be so easily suppressed and has started to spread throughout the entire city. Student organizations in the cities of Leuven, Ghent, and even Brussels itself have been preparing their own protest march quickly organize themselves, chanting the Brabancoon and the Vlaamse Leeuw, waving banners and protesting through the streets. Protests have quickly become nearly insurmountable for the police. Well, shit. Guess we'll have to go with that in time. Walloons in Charleroi and Mons rise up. Massive strikes and protests are also plaguing Wallonia. While the large industrial cities of Charleroi and Mons have started organizing themselves into full-scale rebellion, supported by a singlest resistance and raids of the police headquarters in Mons. The revolters have reorganized themselves outside of the city, biding their time. Well, I did say we're going to have to burn the city down, downfall and stability. Yeah, sounds about right. Originally founded by the German occupiers under the Weltkrieg, the National Landbau and Voedingscorporate, or National Farming and Food Corporation, dictated a strict and planned policy to keep Belgian agriculture afloat. While the organization was dismantled after the war, since rations and military management were no longer necessary, the failure of Midden-Creditas and Boerenbond to assist in the Black Monday crisis has prompted the pro-German regime to rekindle these plans and consider reforming the agency. Let's refuse our plan. Let's see what's going on in the world real quickly. Romanov is on the throne, it looks like. Constitutional monarchy. Nothing quite yet. Looks like they haven't passed Bill C-7 quite yet. Strong constitution. Social... Right, he hasn't died yet, right? There goes democracy. They decided, not quite yet. The Congress is going on right now, so. Alright, so we got the Gallipan Doctrine down. Let's get some, let's assemble the Industrial Committee, get some doctrine research going. Mass desertion. As the rebellion grows by the day, many soldiers of the former Belgian army have deserted and joined forces of rebellion. Well armed, they may pose a significant threat to our ability to suppress revolt. Yeah, sounds about right. Go figure, they don't like the fact that we're kind of burning down the country. The Société Générale de la Belgique splits up. The largest corporation of Flanders-Wallonia, and created by the Dutch in 1815, Société Générale has been the driving power behind much of a rapid industrialization and colonial expansion of the 19th century. After the loss of the Congo and the start of German occupation, its power fell precipitously, but even today, they are still the most important economic institution of our nation, dominating nearly 40% of the industrial sector. To weather the storm caused by Black Monday, several members and Liberal Party are suggesting that we hive off the unprofitable branches and salvage what we can. The General Bank would be sold off as a separate subsidy of the main organization and would handle the bank's affairs independent of interference by the SGB. Nah. Let's not do that. Sounds smart. I don't think we should. We gotta burn this shit down. We're not stopping until everything is till there's nothing but ash. International Congress, the Pope. It's not Padot. Yep. Pius VII. Creation of banking committees in an effort to stop the catastrophic impact that black money is having on Flanders-Wallonia banks. The government has proposed the creation of a banking commission to oversee the crisis recovery and stop the economy from imploding. While this is guaranteed to be opposed by German bank managers, see this as an effort by the Flanders-Wallonia government to diminish their influence. Desperate times call for desperate measures. That sounds like a good idea. Let's not do that. King blocks the proposal. So we're only in April, and we're only just in April, after like 20 plus minutes, around 20 minutes at least right now. Foundation of the Goizen Group. Due to rising tensions by the industrial city of Antwerp, a new resistance movement has been detected by our intelligence service. They called the Goizen Group and have seemed to gather a lot of support around the harbor area, rallying with the populace behind their cause. They seem to work mostly underground, though, and as such, there seems to be no more intel about either their members or their leader. Well, we're going to have to keep a close eye on them. Let's get working on a division real quick, actually. Let's... These fucking bike units actually look pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. I kinda wanna try them out. So build another one of these. We can only really afford one right now. Support for independence grows. As the different factions keep growing, there will soon be a choice that might decide the future of our country. For the moment, there is little contact between Walloon rebels and Flemish. It might be in our best interest to keep the situation separated until we crack down on the rebellion. You know, let's just let's cross our fingers and hope they just can't understand each other. I mean, they speak a different language. It's not too much of a stretch after all. So yeah, what's Ukraine up to? Nothing. Loss of a 20th train convoy. After the capture of a large terrorist cell trying to breach the Von Biesen Kaserne in Mechelen, the commander has decided to transport the prisoners to a safer location close to the main bulk of the army. 276 prisoners were put in a train convoy called the 20th Train Convoy, accompanied by a convoy of 15 soldiers and their officers. They left for Leuven. However, between Boerdermeck and Haast, the train was stopped by 3 young men who, under fire from German forces, opened the prison train and allowed 168 of the prisoners to escape before the Germans regained control of the train. Germany, you're kind of embarrassing yourself. I'm not gonna lie. That was my time here. I need to stop. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of my content in the future, I have uploads going up every weekday and every Saturday, at least in theory. So if you want to check it out, hit that subscribe button. If you have any comments, feedback, anything of the sort, go ahead and leave in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get, and I appreciate any and all feedback you may have for me. If you have any money you'd like to send my way, if you want to support me financially, Patreon link below. I have some cool reward tiers that hopefully will entice you into popping in. If you can't, I understand, but I would appreciate it if you could. I also have a Discord down link below if you want to check that out. We can chat, play games, have a fun old time generally. And, well, yeah. That's about it, guys. My name has been Doggo333, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.